So if I'm looking at slope-intercept form, where do I start? I start with my y-intercept, with my b value. So I know b is equal to -4. So my y-intercept is -4. Technically, it's a coordinate point, but I'm not, oh my gosh, I thought I turned that off. I get more spam calls in one day. It's ridiculous. Okay. And AT&T's been really good recently about sending it to voicemail, but yeah. So not only does it ring, but it rang this time. Okay. So I'm going to graph my y-intercept at -4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my slope. Okay. It's positive. So that means I go up 2 and to the right by 3. And then I play connect the dots. That's my step 3. Questions that you guys have? I felt like we were doing really good in Unit 3, and then all of a sudden I asked you to graph 2 of them on the same graph, and then everybody lost their ability to graph. So I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, no, like just in general, like the entire last unit was all about like kind of equations of lines and graphing. Yes.
I feel like about the last 3 questions on the study guide yesterday are like super difficult.
The word problems?
Yeah. Because one of them, it didn't show any of like the values, so it said to graph 2 lines. They're like completely different, so I didn't know how you're supposed to graph.
We can take a look at it afterwards.
The lawnmowers, they're graphing one.
No, you have to make the units really, really big or really small and really young.
You had to make one go up by like 10 or 20 and one go up by like 2.
I know.
Yeah. You just have to change the axis to be instead of counting by ones by fives or something like that.
I understand that, but it was like, I wish they would have given us the unit value or something. So I was just
Yeah. That's created by Mathematic. If it was created by ChatGPT, it would have been a lot better.
And it probably also would have sold something.
Normally, if I create it and I the only thing I ever use ChatGPT for is to give me nice numbers. So I always take something that's weird and I typically will throw it in a ChatGPT and say, give me whole numbers in between this range of values. So yeah, because here's the thing, I'm not testing you guys on the arithmetic. I'm testing you guys on the standard, which is different. So do we have to have weird decimals and weird fractions for me to test you on the standard? No, not, at least not in my opinion. If I want to test you on weird decimals and weird fractions, let me just give you like a math fact sheet that nobody would want. But if that's what I wanted to do, that's how you test that standard. Okay, so again, y-intercept first. B is equal to 1, so the y-intercept is 1. Remember, what y-intercept means is where is it across the y-axis, so it touches the y-axis at 1. Okay, my slope now is just 2, so remember, I'm going to go down by 2 and to the right by 1. I understand some of you guys like to go up and left. I could care less. Some people like to go up and left, and that's fine. What? Okay.
Doesn't it just do the same thing?
It does.
What I do is I do like 10 different dots for the line, and I just
Yeah, because if I do it on 2 dots, it's like the line.
So,
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
like-
tried to do it here.
Limit, so our pink dot, our y-intercept.
is at 1. And then we go down 2 along the y-axis. And then we go to the right by 1.
Oh, I'm going to show you ahead of start. Thank you.
Okay. All right, questions that you guys have? And then obviously step 3 is to connect again. Now we're going to get a little tricky. Got to change the form. No, don't change the form.
Wait, you can just change the form now.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
It does look messy. Because it's not very nice.
That's pretty neat.
Yes.
Okay, let's step 3 first.
Oh, just connect the dots. So again, I have to look. Which method do I want? Now, Aiden loves slope-intercept form. So we would be like, ooh, let's try slope-intercept form.
Don't do that. It's gonna look really bad.
Well, let's try and see what happens.
No.
No, I'm seeing too much.
So I would have to distribute the 2/3, right, to both terms. So 2/3 times 4 gives me an 8/3. And now you already know, like, why everybody's like, no, don't do it. Like, I don't want to do this. Who wants to graph 2/3 on the y-axis and then do the slope? Nobody. Right? Because once I subtract by 1, I'm getting y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 1 is the same thing as, just kidding, 3/3, so this gives me 5/3. Who wants to do that? So I would not do method 1.
How dare you?
I would do method 2, which is graph the point, then do slope from the point. So I have to identify the point. And again, this is part of what College Board or ACT and SAT are testing on, right? They might be nice and say what point slope form is because that's the formula, right? But what they're testing you on is being able to pull out the coordinate point correctly. So it looks like -4 here. It turns into a +4. So you switch the signs. It looks like a +1 here. You switch the sign and you make it a -1. So you always switch the sign. And then I do my slope, right? My slope is negative. So I'm going down by 2 and to the right by 3. So when I graph step 1 for -1, graph my point. Then I do my slope, which is down 2 and to the right by 3 from the coordinate point. A little tricky. Okay. And then I play connect the dots. And I know some of you guys are perfectionists and you love your straight lines and you love everything about your straight lines. I am testing you on identifying where the coordinate point is and plotting it correctly. And then I'm looking for the next coordinate point.
So if we somehow get there, then
So if you were to go left, that's fine. Yes, Archie.
Do these create slightly different graphs? Because on this one it starts at 5/3, but these are on only.
Say that again.
So in method 1, it starts on 5/3,
Yes, and goes.
and every single point is on like 2/3.
It should be the same line.
but it doesn't care.
It should be the same line.
It's supposed to be the same way.
If you were to graph that in Desmos, it would be the same line. So now what happens here? I think we might be able to do what Aiden likes, which is change this into slope-intercept form. Right? If we wanted to. You don't have to. You want to do it method 2 every single time. Every single time it will work. But I know some of you love your slope-intercept form. Question? No?
How did you get this stuff?
It's the number in front right here. Because in the main formula, my M is in front of the parentheses. Okay, so if I were to do it method 1, I distribute my -2, so I get -2x minus 2. I have to put y by itself, so I have to add 3 to both sides. So y is -2x plus 1. And now I graph, just like I did slope-intercept form. My y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to plot 1 on my y-axis. And then I'm going to do my slope, which is down 2 to the right 1. And then I'm going to connect. Questions that you guys have? Yes, Aiden.
My second one was different than my first one. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
different.
this one's different too.
The left is going this way.
That happened to be on the other.
-1, +3, -1.
Yeah. So yeah, that one ends up going this way. The other one ends up going that way.
It's the same line. Okay.
How does it look like that?
It's supposed to be. All right, look.
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Okay, look. So how do we do it with the method 2, right? I have to find the point. So again, I switch the sign and I switch the sign. So my coordinate point that I'm using is -1, 3. -1, 3 is right here. Okay.
The second dot is what I got from my starting point.
Okay, and then I do my slope from my coordinate point. So my slope is down 2 and to the right by 1.
Well, I thought, what's the slope sign?
No. Slope sign stays the same.
See, that was my problem.
Are you okay, Archie?
I'm just still stuck on this other question.
On the 5/3 one?
Yeah, could you grab the 5/3 one? I still.
Hold on. And then what was the other?
The 2 points were for.
And then oh, the original question.
For what?
Y plus 1 equals -2/3 x minus 4. So it's the same line. There's the red one. That's the 5/3 one. And then here's the point slope one. So they are the same.
That is crazy.
The power of Desmos at times. Even though I have typically a hate relationship with Desmos. Desmos is clunky. That's why I don't like it. Okay, so I'm scrolling around all over the place, making everybody dizzy if they're looking at the screen. So, and there was a question. Was it? It was in yesterday's, right?
There was one that used this one.
There was one. It was one yesterday.
Wasn't this a cashier one? I believe it was the one where the girl needed 2 jobs.
Maybe no. It was. I think it was the day before. But in this way, I think if I do method one is always to change it to slope intercept form, right? So if I have 2x minus 3y is equal to 12, right? What did we do in unit 3? We subtracted 2x, right? And because the 12 and the negative 2x don't have the same terms in it, but not both of them have x. So I can't combine those. So I have a negative 2x plus 12. So don't do weird stuff and start combining them when you're not supposed to. Okay. I can then divide everybody by 3 individually. So I divide everybody by negative 3 and I get positive 2/3 x and a minus 4. So I can do my slope intercept form if I want to. Right? So I identify my y-intercept is negative 4. So I graph negative 4 on my y-axis. And then I do my slope. Right, my slope is 2/3, so I'm going up 2 and to the right by 3. And then I'm playing connect the dots. Okay. This requires effort. And I'm not saying that I'm lazy. Well, maybe I am. I just don't like to do work when it's not necessary. If I can do something faster, right, I'm going to do it faster. I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking at something just because I am old and stuck in my ways and like to do everything a certain way, right? So I would have found x and y intercepts. Like we did when we did this in Unit 3. How do I find an x-intercept? I need to set y equal to 0 and solve for x. How do I find a y-intercept? Set x equal to 0 and solve for y. But a lot of you guys, like I was showing you like on the worksheet, right? I was telling you we'll cover up the x, solve for y. Cover up the y and solve for x, right? And I did it that way because I didn't have to write anything out, and neither did you. I could just cover up the variable, put my finger over it, and solve, right? And that's fine. So if I set y equal to 0, I mean, I can show this step right? And get that x is equal to 6. Or I could have just thought for a second and been like, ooh, let's get rid of this. Oh, look, it's 6. Right? And then I could have erased it and been like, oh, look, let me cover up x. And I get -4 for y. Right? So I can still write it out if you want. Right? Or if you want to, you can. But again, like, requires effort. Ultimately, if you take an advanced placement class, you have to be able to answer multiple choice questions in less than 2 minutes. In calculus, you have to be able to figure out things fast, which is great for all of my I don't want to show any work people. Right? Because then if you can do it in your head fast, nobody cares on a multiple choice. Okay, so my y is equal to -4, and I'm graphing 6 on my x-axis. So I graph 6, 3, right, 6 on the x-axis, and then I'm going to graph -4 on the y-axis.
I like how it has more steps for the thing that's fast.
I know. It's because, like, technically this is step 1, this was step 2. Like,
What even would be 3 and 4?
Step 4
I don't remember.
right line.
I wrote this sitting in a gymnasium.
Graph.
Oh, it's because, oh no, I lied. This is step 3. Step 2 was to graph it on the x-axis. And then step 4 is to graph it on the y-axis. It's a mess. Here, I'll clean it up a little bit. Which I did green, okay. That's what it was supposed to look like. So you solve for x in step 1. Step 2 is you graph 6 on the x-axis. What color did I choose? I chose pink. So then step 3 is solving for y. So 2 times 0 minus 3y is equal to 12. So y is negative 4. So then negative 4 on y-axis. That's what the steps are. Mr. Mondragon said that most of his students don't know how to graph right now, so that's why I put multiple steps in. And then we play connect the dots. And lo and behold, it's the same line. And it doesn't matter which way you want to do it. I don't care. Okay? Questions? I got a few graphing ones for you guys.
Homework.
Yes, homework.
Which one do you want to see?
I want to see 7. Because related to this particular unit, most of these are in standard form. I want to see 7 because I want to see a standard form one.
Stop. Seriously, man. Seriously. Relax.
Yeah, because when you guys graph inequalities, most of them are going to look like standard form or slope intercept, and I'm pretty sure you know slope intercept. So I'd like to see standard. Because if you're going to get stuck, I want you to get stuck now.